What's up, everyone? Welcome to Happy Ball Sports Talk, where we decided to hit record on things we'd be talking about anyway. We had an episode that we recorded the night of the conference championship games. Unfortunately, had some technical difficulties, so here we are again to make sure we get this thing recorded and out the door. Uh, I'm Glove here with Coach Gray, ready to talk about it. Talk a little college ball as well at the very end. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it again. And
Yeah,
plus, I've had some more time to think about it. And
I know that's the cool part. You've had the processes. We had this conversation literally the night after, you really got to watch the Seahawks win the NFC Championship.
yeah,
So now let's do a little bit of a reflection.
but
Well,
long day,
oh yeah, super long.
still kind of buzzing, right? Uh,
Have your feet touched the ground since?
I was actually just watching I was actually just watching it again from the start because I hadn't watched everyone's talking about how good the call was and how good Tom Brady was. So I wanted to go
Oh,
here
okay.
to listen to the broadcast.
Speaking of Tom Brady, you talked about this later.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a
So
little
fun,
bit about that.
so funny. So I was at the NFC Championship game, right? And not to get too much into it, but from where I was in the stadium, it's like near the suites, right? So um, as you get into more like exclusive areas, the entry points get smaller, right? As that there's more security, right? So there's a way to like control crowds.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a small little walkway happening. And this is after the game. This is after the trophy presentation because everyone stayed for the trophy presentation, obviously. Uh, sure enough, I look up and there's Tom Brady walking past me. I mean, literally, I could have tripped the guy. Uh, I guess, keep it, you want to keep it classy. You don't want to
Yeah.
bother anybody. He was obviously running to go catch a flight or something. It was the whole like Fox team getting out of there. We just happened to pass by each other. Um, it's insane. You know how people talk about, people talk about when they see Sasquatch or something, when there's like spottings, they'll be like, man, he was 2 stories tall. He just like it's totally exaggerated
Yeah.
what they saw. When you don't realize you're about to like be in the same air as an all-time great athlete, especially as a fan of the game,
Yeah.
man, it stops you in your tracks, man. To say I was starstruck would say the least. I didn't say anything to him. I literally just like got out of the way, let him pass, and kept going. But nuts to just like for a moment in time. I mean, I feel like it's like seeing Michael Jordan, right? Like,
He's he'd be more of for our age, our Jordan, I guess, a little bit. Jordan's our childhood, and then I guess Tom would be more like our college
yeah.
adult days.
Well, he's the football one.
Yeah,
He's the
absolutely.
football one. But anyways, cool little story just
That is
about
cool.
that game
That's cool.
on Sunday
Uh,
night. I can't believe it. It's only Tuesday. It feels like it's been a week.
yeah, it's Tuesday morning. We're doing this right now. Hopefully, we'll get this out quick. January 27th. All right, let's step back real quick. AFC Championship, Broncos versus Patriots. Patriots win 10-7. You gave a little bit of a backstory. Tell everybody kind of like I'm at home. You're in transit trying to kind of watch the game slash you go a little bit early to catch the games. Can you explain a little bit like how and what you thought of the game and then
Right. So
watch it?
I missed the first half in transit, but I caught the second half. And from what I saw, I mean, the weather was bad. It's really hard to get really big takeaways from it when the weather's bad like that, especially when you're playing in Denver, just because like it's just one of those places like the ball's harder to throw. It's harder to kick. It's hard, you know what I mean? Like it's harder to catch.
Shouldn't be with the mile high and the thinner air and all that. That's kind of always been an
It
advantage
just,
of my
I
life, the
think
kicker, but it sure as heck didn't seem like it.
it's got to be disorienting for an instant, especially at the beginning of games. So like I wasn't surprised to see a slow start out of the Patriots because I mean literally they have less oxygen than they're typically used to.
Absolutely.
So that has to be, there's always something for that. That's why Denver's such a tough place to play at. But they didn't make Drake May try to do a lot. The defense looked fantastic.
Absolutely.
Um, they're an easy team to like, frankly. Uh, they're kind of a typical Patriots team. Vrabel's done a fantastic job. He's a great head coach. He's super savvy as well. He's such a modernized version of the Patriot Way, which is pretty cool.
Crazy that the Titans did what they did.
It really, I mean, it is, but like,
He doesn't fit them.
dude, it's the Patriots and it's Vrabel and it's
Yeah,
like
they
it's
just
Robert Kraft, and you're looking at it and you're watching them on the championship, and you're just like, here we go again.
yeah. Oh yeah,
You
no,
see
no,
Drake. I mean, like Drake May, he's obviously had a
yeah.
great year.
Great season,
He's
especially
had a
for a second
great
year.
season. I know he
But
had a tough game.
have you seen all this stuff lately, Glove, about like who the Patriots have really been playing against?
I
The
have. You
quality
can
of
only
the
play the.
quality of quarterbacks that they're playing against in these
They
teams
still. They
compared to
still.
what the Seahawks played this whole season. So like if we did a comparison and then they're doing this like the Caleb Williams comparison to Drake May, and I'm like, yeah. Now Drake Mays only can do what he can do and can control, right? But we're going to talk about easier path. Patriots definitely had an easier path of quality level of teams. And I think the NFC is just a better overall conference this season. Doesn't mean that's who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Well,
But
I.
AFC versus NFC, NFC was a lot harder, I think, overall to play in.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree because you just didn't have the quarterbacks
Yeah. Now, one
overall.
thing that happened with both games, once again, coaches going for it on fourth down when they could have potentially got a shorter field goal attempt. And it comes back
Yeah,
to cost
I
both
did want to
teams.
comment on the strength of schedule thing though.
Yeah,
I don't think there's really much to it, man. I think it's being overplayed because they still went 17-3 playing professional football.
absolutely. I'm not knocking
Like
that. And they don't have any control
the
with that.
margins are so thin in the NFL. Like,
But
and
they're not playing.
the season's so long too.
But
Like,
look
it's
who they
not like
played
they
against,
got
Love.
lucky the whole way.
But who'd they play against? That's the thing. It's like the quality of quarterback. So it's not a everyone's just young. That's the thing. It's all these young quarterbacks. So they're not, we don't know if that is a future Peyton Manning that's on the other team, but we're just seeing him in year one or two. We're not we don't know that. So that's the
Yeah,
weird dynamic of all these teams because some of them will end
because
up being
I could
great.
make the argument that outside of the Rams, like who the Seahawks really played the last month.
I think yeah, if you played Rams and
Because
Niners,
the Niners are beat up.
they
Niners are
are,
more the brand at this point. You can make the argument. Uh,
but they always gave them a good game other than the last time they
they
played.
did. I'm just saying. I guess that's my like spin for Patriots fans. Like,
Yeah.
look, we still played 20 NFL football games. We went 17-3, and our quarterback's probably going to be second in the MVP.
But also the Seahawks had to play the Bears at the end there with the
Yeah,
club.
that's
And
true.
then we got have the crazy Philip Rivers experiment, all
I
of a
mean,
sudden
that
show up,
honestly, that was the game that I think kind of got the team back on its.
got back on track. I think so
Mhm.
too. I think that was like, all right, we
It's like you
figured.
said when we actually recorded this originally, and you'll probably mention this again when we recorded this on Sunday night. But like when you can win a game and make mistakes and have like things that should have maybe lost you a game happen, but you still win and you can learn from it,
Yep.
that's huge.
It's the best. It's the
And
best
like
thing
they did
ever as a
not play
coach.
well in that Colts game.
Mm-mm.
You can make the argument they didn't deserve that win. And you still got to learn from it.
We'll just all right. So Patriots win. We're moving on. Congrats to the Patriots. I'm nervous now about Patriots and the Seahawks.
Do you
But let's
think their
talk.
defense is going to be very good?
Yeah.
Gonzalez on Jackson Smith and Jigba is a matchup. I think a lot of people, as the 2 weeks go on here leading up to the Super Bowl, you're going to hear that a lot.
Well, yeah. It's and that's gonna be key, right? Can you stop him and make those plays? Let's talk more about.
Yeah, because I do have
Or
some like some opening thoughts too. Now that it's been a couple days for the Super
yeah.
Bowl matchup, so let's talk NFC Championship game.
All right. Yeah. Let's
Uh,
switch over. Obviously, Seahawks win 31-27 over the Rams, and this is the
mhm.
third time they meet, which makes it extremely difficult in general to play somebody three times, especially, you play each other at least twice every year. These coaches Sean McVay's been there for so long, so he knows how to play against Seattle. He's got
Well, a
their
team that you're
number.
even with.
Yeah, extremely. The other thing is early on, the made me nervous going into the game was the Rams kind of had Sam Darnold's number,
Hmm.
right? They just knew defensively how to play against him, how to slow him down. Maybe a combination of Sean McVay and all those coaches were there to technically kind of watch Sam while he was in college when he was at USC. So like they've watched this guy's career.
The
Uh,
Rams have also been very good
yes, absolutely.
defensively. So it's not just Sam Darnold that he's had. Like the Ram, I've watched a lot of Rams teams come here to Seattle and whoop Seattle like
Yeah.
for a long time. So like
Unfortunately, too many times.
I think that's why I think in the back of our minds everyone was nervous going into this game.
And rightfully so. Uh, Sam Bradford's having, or not Sam,
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
Shout out Sam
Matthew,
Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
Oklahoma great.
Love it.
What a name drop. Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford. You know, he's in the SEC now. Uh, but Matthew Stafford was just an unbelievable weapon this year. Hard to stop and control. And I always keep thinking about the first time we played the Rams this year. The Seahawks played so bad offensively, but we're still in that game. And we lost in a nail biter. So that's when I look back and I'm like, all right, overall, this team's crazy good. We made so many mistakes and we almost and could have won the game still. It's like, all right, that's how good Seattle is. So, and luckily, Seattle played amazing, and Sam had one of his better games he's had statistically all season, and happened to be at the right time. And that's what you need to be doing, play the right
he
time.
he went blow for blow with Stafford.
Yeah. And he kind of
He really
had
did. He
to
really
to
did. I
keep
mean,
us in the to keep Seattle in the game and to keep that cushion and that lead, which was necessary. So take me back, Glove, to your experience in there, the environment, how
yeah.
did you feel at the Seattle game?
So when you compare it to the last playoff, the divisional round against the 49ers, that one was with the opening kickoff for a touchdown and then just like never really giving the 49ers an inch at that point. It was more of a party for the 12s and the Seahawks fans. There was never really a doubt. It just kind of kept getting better as the
Yeah.
game went on, right? It just kind of was like it's like you see those ESPN prediction charts, right, of your chance to win. Like it just kept going up, 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 up. Um, Whereas this one, like I said earlier, we were tense going into the game.
Yeah.
The city was tense, you could feel it, but also like knowing, hey, we're a win away from Super Bowl, and like we've beaten this team, and frankly, we if we didn't turn the ball over, we
Yep.
should have beat them the first time
Yep.
in LA. So if you think about it, if we just play, mistake free football, we should win this game with home field advantage.
And it came down to a couple key plays like it always does in the NFL.
So when I hear that argument, like I was with it for the Seahawks. But of course Stafford's having the year of his life. Anyways, to get into the game here,
Yeah. What was the environment like
environment was
pregame,
great.
kickoff, all that?
Not a lot of LA Rams fans traveling up to Seattle for this. Same can be said. I mentioned this last time for the San Francisco game. So credit to the Seahawks and the Seattle fans for really showing out and
I,
and
f-
keep
I
making sure
feel,
tickets go to
let
the
me,
right
let me
people.
ask you this then, Glove. What about the back end on the tickets? Did you see what happened with Broncos when they
I
were trying
didn't.
to sell it? So they limited, you had to geographically have an address in
Oh,
certain
I did see
surrounding
that.
states of Colorado.
Yeah.
It's basically preventing anybody on the East Coast to get tickets to see the Patriots.
Yeah, and I saw
So
one
I'm
one.
like, did Seattle kind of try to do that to prevent any sort of California people coming up? That's what
Well,
I'm just
what?
curious.
No, so I know the Seahawks sent out a email to their season ticket holders, essentially saying, "Hey, we're tracking transfers, and so like if we see something going to San Francisco, it's like San Francisco area code. I'm sure they had flags or whatever
Yeah,
set up. Like,
that in LA now for the other game.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
if
there's
it's a
there's
home
always
game.
situations where people are transferring tickets. So you're not like outlawing that, but like I think it was a noteworthy I don't want to call it a threat, but a reminder of kind of what you agree to when you become a season ticket holder for the Seahawks. And that's the same for all teams, right? Like
Yeah,
they don't want to provide a home field advantage for the other team.
absolutely. And that's the other, yeah, it should not be the case. So,
Right. So it was a great environment. It was packed to the gills. I mean,
you
game
mentioned
gets started.
they had those lights going again.
They've got the lights going again. I think that's going to be a full time thing. I really hope it is, especially with the World Cup coming to Seattle this summer. But to get started, like the game started with that 3-and-out against the Rams, so you felt good there.
Yeah.
But then it just started like that back and forth was happening. Uh, Stafford would do his thing. Darnold just kept on coming back, and I guess we'll fast forward to that week one play, right?
Yeah. That happened towards the end of the third quarter.
Because that was really it was
When he,
really back and forth.
hmm
It felt like it was leaning Rams to me all game.
That's what you felt like there, even though
That's what it
at
felt to
that
me.
moment when one got
And
the
he got
top,
the stop. I felt like it flipped.
yes, but we were up by 11 at that point.
I know, but it just felt like
The Rams. So
there
that's
was
where
something happening.
if he didn't have the taunting, all of a sudden we're getting the ball back one more time, and it wasn't. And I at the point I was like, I could care less whether we score or not. We got the ball back, and we're just going to eat clock at least with the lead.
I just didn't want him to be within striking distance on the scoreboard. Like 11's a good cushion, but you got to keep it, which is why
Exactly.
getting off the field right there was so crucial, right?
Yep.
So for that penalty to happen, which I've gone back and looked at it again, he wasn't even as close to the sideline as I thought he was.
Yeah,
Um,
the combination of
he was pretty far away, so he must have said something.
he said some
Also,
stuff,
you
but
just
also,
don't
did you
talk to
see the
Stafford.
players? The players and coaches started pointing at him
He must have
when he
said
was over.
something.
So when he said or did when he was right in that area, obviously we
He,
won. So we're gonna
yeah,
take that as a
did you see his?
extreme learning lesson. And then I've seen some posts that he said of like apologizing
Yeah,
and all that. And like, yeah. And I've seen some people do some funny skits trying to act like, what was it like in the locker room for him?
no, look, I think that's where
I hope
Mike
everybody is
McDonald.
saying, yeah, I hope everybody's celebrating, but also like, dude, you almost cost these guys something that they've been working their whole lives for just because and it's like, is it Legion of Boom? The only reason they get any of that action is because we just got our new version of a Richard Sherman with the talking. And as a coach, I hated it when Richard Sherman talked because he made every 12-year-old think they could talk. It's like, Richard Sherman can talk because he's literally the best right now. So to the 12-year-olds that think they're hot stuff, you can talk when you're at the NFL level, doing it against the guys that are about to go to the Super Bowl and you're a Pro Bowl worthy guy. Then you can talk. And I felt like and you could tell me, did it feel like people were talking the whole game?
A little bit, a little bit. Uh, I think the flag, the instant reaction. I know they showed the sideline interaction where Yari was kind of giving it to him a little bit there, and they
Yeah.
had to be separated by Leonard Williams. And I do think though, credit to Mike McDaniel, man. That's where culture came through because they have this don't point fingers,
Yeah.
lift each other up type of mentality for these type of moments. And so I think ultimately that's what kept them in it. Like it became a next play and they let them have it. They let them know it's unacceptable and then they moved on.
Seattle had a lot more penalties than they typically do in general.
There was
And
a lot of emotions, man. I mean, like
yeah.
Puka, these wide receivers, especially Puka, he gets in your face. He lets you know when he makes a play, and he makes plays constantly.
Yeah. I was like him and Sam or not Sam, him and Matt Stafford like literally had the greatest connection that whole time. And then also when he threw and got like 200 some yards the last time you played, so like you had to be dialed in on him. And if you said, "Hey, we're gonna at least keep him to 100 some," that felt like a victory, which is crazy to think.
I feel like we've always said this is going to be crazy. This might be a crazy take. You tell me. We've always assumed and said that Aaron Rodgers is like the most talented quarterback of all time. Man, I don't know how you can't watch what Stafford's doing. and think Rodgers, like Stafford's arm is so elite
Oh yeah.
from just an arm strength perspective. And I think a lot of people don't realize what he did in Detroit because no one was really watching.
And he didn't have the success that they are right now,
But
but he was definitely the
what
caliber to
he's
play
doing
there.
right now, he did for 8 years in Detroit. He had a few more picks. He
Yeah.
had to make more happen because of the team he had, the various teams that he had. But like he is the fact he's playing at the clip he is right now is insane. Some of the throws he had today, he's spreading the ball around. He's making little moves in the pocket. I mean, he's still athletic. He's 37 years old. I mean, he's moving around the pocket. He looks great.
Yeah. And he could be one of those guys where I think made me think of if he goes on to win the Super Bowl, does he retire or does he keep going for another 2 or 3 more years? So that we've kind of had that debate of is he our players that are in their twilight, mid after 35, 36, are they gonna hang it up or are they gonna try to do what Tom Brady did and try to find one more team or drag it out a couple more seasons? Also, what franchises you need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And if you can get a guy who's at least I don't Matthew Stafford on one leg's better than most teams right now in general.
Well, and so that play happens. They score touchdown the very next play to Puka.
Yes,
Uh,
as we go back
that's
to the game.
when the momentum really felt Rams heavy.
And so they cut to so what we saw on TV is they cut to the sideline and the players are going at it because they realize, all right, that
Well,
was
then the Seahawks offense goes on the field. They're forced to punt.
yeah. So what was going on? I guess you noticed from being there.
I saw the broadcast version. I didn't really see. It looks like they separated them. The leaders walked in the room, right? Like that's where guys having like guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and you've got Leonard Williams, you've got
Yeah.
Ernest Jones, and I mean you've got these names that like you don't talk back to.
And that's what I wanted. I was like, I don't want to see them fighting and arguing. Like, just tell them, like, hey, you screwed up. We're gonna fix this.
And look at
They're not scoring. We're
the
not
guy
scoring
who was
anymore,
ridiculing Woolen the most was a rookie,
which is crazy.
which is nuts.
But
So I
also,
just think the culture that they have there, a lot of empowerment, a lot of accountability,
yeah,
um, and there's leadership, and there's people who know when to step in, there's people who know when to let it go, and I think that's what makes this team so special, and why we've been watching like this Seahawks team. I mean, like, look to bring it back to the game because I know we keep kind of going off and talking about
yeah,
because we know eventually who wins. Um, but there's just a no quit in this team, and they're just so tight knit, and you can tell when they
yeah,
play.
absolutely. And I think we
They
can.
just I think ultimately they just had less holes than the Rams because the very next when the Rams had the muff punt, that to me was game.
That's in those moments in those games. That's all it takes.
What
Is
do they say in
something.
football, man? They say all three phases, and the Rams didn't have the third phase.
And that's something that the Rams always statistically over the course of as a Seahawks fan growing up, the Rams always had some sort of trick punt return or fake punt or something on kickoff. Like they always did something
I
to Seattle
I heard a
almost
stat.
all the time, all the
I
time.
heard
And it
I,
cost Seattle the game every
I
time.
heard a stat where the three worst special teams units right now ranked in the NFL are all McVay guys.
Really,
McVay, it's like it's the Rams, Packers, 49ers, some combination of the three,
which is interesting for how successful those
which is
teams.
interesting. So it just lets you know that like their philosophy is one of, hey, we're not going to need the punt. We're not going to need a kick. We're going to score touchdowns.
Yes. So as a
We're going to
coach,
go for it on fourth down.
that's yes, and that's the other thing. Here we are at the very end of the game. McVay says, there's about 5 minutes. You have all three timeouts, and this has already been talked about several times. But we just watched it in Denver, and Denver should have took every single opportunity they got a chance to get any sort of points, kick it, and they didn't. And then we watched McVay for the Rams with 5 minutes, all three timeouts, the fourth quarter. It's 27-31. You kick it, now it's a 1 point game. You potentially get the ball back, and all you have to do is say, hey, Stafford, can you at least get us in the field goal range? Instead, now they got to go for a touchdown. And then they get the ball back, and there's less than a minute, no timeouts. So luckily Seattle took care of business offensively and ate up that clock. But it's one of those situations where these coaches that have been going for it all the time on fourth down, all of a sudden the ego gets so big at those moments they can't swallow and they
Well,
they can't take points what they're supposed to do. That's
well,
what's super frustrating as a fan, but also as the world of the kicker.
yeah,
Just take the damn points.
for sure. And I do think there's a little bit, what's the argument is that like we're leaning on analytics a little too strong at times. Read the game, read the room.
Fourth and four, fourth and one,
I'd
the
agree
difference.
with you. I'd agree
Fourth
with
and
you.
four.
I'd agree with you for 31 of the teams, 30 of the teams. But
But you got Stafford back there, so why not sling it?
Stafford is the best player in the league. He's operating
He's got
like
Adams and Puka to throw
crazy.
to.
You got two pretty much Hall of Fame wide receivers.
That shows you how good Seattle's defense is.
Which shows you how good Seattle's defense is. But like, I get the vision, I get the urgency. I get the feeling that McVay wanted to make a statement at that point to really deflate the room.
Do you also think about,
Because if you give them a kick and you're
yeah,
up and you're only down one, and then Seattle roars back and scores, I mean the roof comes off the building.
think about the
I don't think he
year,
trusted. I don't know if he
your
trusted
year,
his defense
was
at
it
that point.
last year where the Packers, or a couple years ago, where Packers decided to kick versus go
That's the
for it?
Packers. Yeah.
So, so this was a year or so ago. NFC Championship, Packers kick,
Mm-hmm.
and then they try to get the ball back and don't get the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
You're an offense. Like I get it for the
that's
Rams, man.
that's the
You're an
only
offensive
reason why.
guy. You're
That's
an
the only
offensive
reason why.
guy. You've got Stafford. You've got
Yep.
two great wide receivers. You've been playing a great game. You've been finding spots. I mean, Parkinson even had some moments.
Yep. He did.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with the call. It's one of those for fourth down calls for me, and I totally get where you're coming from. I always feel like
There was just enough time and yet timeouts. It's the NFL. Anything
it's
can happen in
always
a minute.
justified when you get it, and it's never a good call when you don't.
Absolutely.
You
But
know what I mean? Like I remember the Les Miles like
take the point.
fakes that he would do, and it would work. And for a while there, he had like six work in a row, and you're like, "Yo, this is sick."
Yeah. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if you don't get it right, then everyone's gonna, and what they're doing right now and what we're doing is just we're gonna point fingers and say, man, you picked the wrong choice. And that's what both coaches, whoever loses, you're gonna look back and be like, we made the wrong choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I guess looking ahead to a quick preview here of the Super Bowl.
yeah,
What are
so
your initial thoughts of this
Seahawks, Patriots. I've heard all sorts of now there's crazy statistics about teams heading west versus east. And
I saw that one, and technically, San Francisco is west of Seattle. So,
the guy,
jokes on them.
okay, they did a bad job of geographically
Yeah,
figuring it out.
we're technically
The
east of San
stadium,
Francisco.
they said the stadium.
Just saying, we're technically east of San Francisco is what I.
Okay. Well, I mean, Seattle, I think Seattle's the better team looking at what the Patriots have played against and the quality of opponents. And also, I think NFC West, because they came out of it alive and their majority still healthy, Seattle looks to be the team to beat. But I still don't feel comfortable
I do
one
wish the
bit.
Seahawks had Charbonnet a little bit.
Absolutely. I also hope Seattle draws up some crazy plays for like our backup quarterback and things like that. I want to just make sure we're good on all the phases for these 2 weeks going
Yeah,
into the Super Bowl. I want to be locked in. It's just, man, Seattle, I hope we win. But Patriots don't make me feel easy because they have Vrabel. If it wasn't Vrabel, I probably wouldn't be so worried. And also now knowing it's a Vrabel, I'm going to guard some sort of random number 55 out there who's playing H slash tight end on, a 13 personnel, and then all of a sudden he breaks off and he catches a pass in the back of the end zone like Vrabel did. Like as a Seahawks guy, I'm like, I'm preparing for that. I'm preparing for anything and everything on the defensive side because of what Vrabel's done in the
Yeah,
past.
I'm expecting a lot better performance out of May than what you saw in Denver.
I think a lot
I
of people, yeah, I think the weather and the elements, and then also Denver's defense is just good.
What you got to watch is, and I feel like in these games, the one stat you really got to watch is it's your running game. It's your ability to control the tempo of the game. It's your ability to get off, convert third downs offensively and get off the field on third down defensively. Um, if Walker needs to keep on this, I mean, Walker's been the player of the playoffs for Seattle. If he can keep at this clip that he's on, I don't see how Seattle loses this game. Now, if
Feed
you
him, feed
if you
him.
think Kenneth Walker, if you notice he's starting to, he's not really getting the yards. It's not he's not making that extra spin or that extra juke to make what would have been a 3 yard gain to a 7 yard gain, 5 yard gain. I mean, those margins are crazy. That's a
They're
big difference in the NFL.
huge, huge.
So be watching that. If those 5 yard, 7 yard runs become more 3 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard runs, I'm going to start getting concerned because then you're going to put a lot of stress on Darnold. And it's not that I don't believe in Darnold. It's that any quarterback without a good running game is in trouble.
The play action's kind of the bread and butter for Seattle's offense. So when the running game was going real early on in the game, then everything's clicking. But when
I
they,
will say I've noticed these, especially this last game. Did you notice this as well? That I know they typically will do this, but they had like designed screens as like drop offs if he didn't see a play downfield. They were calling that a lot against the Rams, where they were calling like a legit pass play, but they had linemen setting up for a
yeah,
screen for Walker, and Walker had a couple times where he got 15 yards.
yep. And I think that's what it's got to be. It's
Yeah,
got to be some play action, some screens to Walker. It's giving the ball to Walker in space, just like you want to give Jackson Smith and Najigba the ball in space. Like just
yeah.
give it to the playmakers that are going to do stuff. I think it's the Super Bowl, so we'll have some sort of end around reverse with Snead or a deep go ball for him early on. So like stuff like that, I think I could see Seattle doing. It's just making sure we're ready for the rebuttal from the Patriots.
I just see the world where Christian Gonzalez can put the clamps a little bit, not stop Jackson Smith and Jigma, but just slow him down a little bit,
Yeah.
forcing Seattle to really lean on Barner and Cup and maybe even Bobo, like they did in the last game. And then, so if you have a combination of that and they can stop the run, and Kenneth Walker can't really find gaps,
Yeah.
that's when I'm starting to get concerned if I'm a Seahawks fan. Now, defensively for the Seahawks, I think they I feel like they should handle the Patriots pretty easily.
I hope I think it could be a potentially two-score victory for Seattle. I mean, it's a 10, 13, 14
It's a
point
four and a
win.
half point spread right now, which is, I mean,
I
pretty
think
big
it
for
could
the
be
NFL.
more. But it's the NFL. You give anybody 2 weeks, anybody could beat anybody. And
There's a lot. There's a lot in Seattle's favor for this one,
absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
I'm just telling you because I don't know. Yeah, just be watching for this, everybody. If Jackson Smith and Jigba starts getting slowed down by Christian Gonzalez, and Kenneth Walker can't find gaps, and those above average runs become regular runs, 2 yard runs, 3 yard runs, I'm getting concerned if I'm a Seahawks fan.
Yeah. I think the Rams, I think a lot of teams are just saying, hey, if they're gonna Seattle's gonna beat us, it's gonna be Sam has to throw it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Seattle just needs to be commit to the run, keep every team honest because Walker's a dude. The
Mm-hmm.
K9, release the K9 and let him go. Because he makes people miss in a phone booth and it's crazy.
All right,
Or
so I know we're gonna run out of time here. Do we want to quickly do the our college
yes,
update?
yes. We're gonna get
So
into the game here.
this is our we'll do this every show. We'll try to do this every show.
Or hold
We
on.
are I know he's pulling it up here, but just to explain it. So all right. So here's where we left off. As you can see, this is the game we'll play for every show at the end of it,
Yeah.
where we'll essentially pick out 2 to 4 schools to tier.
Hold on,
It's
Glove.
not. Yep.
Our names.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's all right. Well,
Well, I want to do it differently anyway.
yeah. Let me do wave my arms. Let me do a little of this and that. All right.
All right, so now we'll talk a little bit of college ball as we play our game here that we'll play. It's really more of a tiering game that we'll play every show. Uh, how this works, just explain it for those who don't know. We're doing is we're tiering into these different classes, and we're tiering it based off of, think of it a lot like how like English soccer is set up, where you have the Premier League, the Championship, and these different tiers of teams by groups of 20. We're essentially doing that based off how teams did last year, and then how they're projecting this into next year based off what we know so far with the offseason.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
an organic thing that's going to be constantly changing because of transfer portals and then also rich billionaires that decide to put
yeah,
themselves in here because Glove within the last 24 hours, uh, Michigan State's just played the game. They said, I got some billionaires
they do have billionaires.
and
One's the owner of the Suns.
so they're ready to play. So
Yeah.
this thing can change a lot. And just
Yeah.
because we got you in tier one today doesn't mean you're going to be in tier one when August, September rolls around.
So until then, we'll fill this thing up and then we'll adjust from there. So you
Yeah.
can just concentrate really on the top 2 tiers, right? Those are the ones we've
Yep. We
done.
did
The
this
rest
first.
is really more placeholder.
Correct.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, and we're gonna pick. We each get two picks each time we do this, and then we'll adjust as we see fit once we kind of create our bracket. But right now, yeah, I'll go first. My first school that I'm gonna put in is I'm gonna put Virginia. Virginia should have been ACC champion, which is crazy to think how, Miami went to the national championship, but like great program. Coach has been doing really well, consistent. Seems like they're going to reload for another quarterback in the portal. So I think Virginia's got at least a top 25 quality team.
I don't disagree with you there. I think it's fair to put them in that tier 2 right now. There's nothing indicating they. I mean, I don't think you'd put them higher. So I think that's a decent spot for now for them. The first school I look at is Virginia Tech with the hiring of James Franklin, how they've done in the portal. It feels like there's a lot of excitement around that program, and the trajectory is looking really good. Obviously, this would be a pretty big jump for them considering how they've been the last few years, but it does feel like they made the right hire. I mean, for a second there, people were like, maybe Penn State really made a mistake because it felt so good for Virginia Tech making that hire. So
Yeah.
um, I could see them starting to flirt with the top 25. I definitely see them as one of those top 40 programs at this point in time.
Yeah. My mindset is if Coach Franklin can make them a bowl eligible team his first year, that's a win. And then just build that culture. He's going to get an upset win against somebody that they shouldn't have beat.
Yeah, you go
That's
seven
what
and
Franklin
five,
does.
8-4, upset somebody. I mean, that's a great year for as you're building something.
Absolutely. All right, my second team, I'm gonna go Tennessee. So we're staying east. We're gonna go in the
Honestly,
SEC.
could have gone higher than where we picked them to.
I think a lot of these schools, and that's the thing, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna move around. With they could be floating between 20 and 30. And there's really probably a 30, 40 teams we could probably be arguing about that. So I'm going to throw Tennessee in there. Great program. I think they're back to where there's definitely a top 25 caliber team every single Saturday. Um, they just, got to win a couple of the big ones to become the top 10. And when they do that, then we're all going to be talking about Rocky Top all day long.
Dude, when Rocky Top's on fire, I mean, in a good way,
Yeah.
it's one of the best places to be.
All right. Who's your last one, Glove?
I'm going to go with Houston,
All right.
partly because they beat LSU in the bowl game. and it just felt like, they finished in the top 25. They win the bowl game. They have resources at Houston. They have a good alumni base. I mean, Houston's one of the biggest cities in the U.S., right? They've got a huge alumni
Huge.
base. So that's one where I could see them floating around that top 40, that 20 to 40 range for sure as a program, especially as they just proved that they're a top 25 team. So I don't know how you can't put Houston in this tier.
Yeah, they kind of surprised everybody in the Big 12 and haven't gotten the respect, but also they got to can they do it again?
Mm-hmm.
Not a flash in the pan, winning 8, 9 games in one season.
So I know we picked our four. I did just want to mention, because I'm noticing a couple logos that we haven't picked yet
Yeah.
that I think will probably be next. What's been keeping you from picking Clemson? Because I know for me, I'd like to see what the recovery is from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see quarterback play.
Yeah, I think they had all the talent that you think coming up, but it's also just because you have the talent coming in high school doesn't mean they're going to be coached well, or doesn't mean that they're going to be exactly who you thought or hoped. And guys get better over time. As you can clearly see this all the time with these guys who win the Heisman, just because they were an average or an okay player, maybe their freshman, sophomore year, and they finally hit the weight room where they grew into their body. So Clemson's got guys, but doesn't mean they got the right guy. And also, I'm just tired of some of these schools. They're automatically put on the pedestal, and they got to show it before they get it, more or
Well, it's so
less.
year by year now too. I think now you can't really look into
I haven't heard Clemson's
can't really look at
billionaires.
you can't really use history.
Yeah, the game's changed.
You
The
can't really
NIL
use
game's changed.
history. But I will say too, like, we could be sitting here come October, come November, and it's so year by year now.
Yeah.
Dabo
And
figured it out. I mean, Dabo's not a bad coach. He's a Hall
no,
of
he's
Fame
not. And the
college
thing is,
football coach.
Dabo's been getting his teams have been taken from him, or his
Mm-hmm.
coaching staff. Like he's kind
Mm-hmm.
of gone through a little bit of what Nick Saban's dealt with, having to reload a coaching staff because they go off and because of his success. So I'm not going to knock Clemson. They're definitely a top 25 to top 30 kind of team, but I don't want to just put them in there just yet. They'll probably be our next conversation. That's
Yeah.
for sure. That's where we're at with this game of our NCAA re-rankings. We're still on tier two. We'll be on tier two next time. Next time we're back on, hopefully a little bit later this week, we'll discuss more NFL, Super Bowl. There's some All-Star games, college basketball is going on. Anything
Yeah, I
else
think
that's
I
kind of
think
standing
maybe
out
I
to
think maybe
you?
we'll do another one maybe just this upcoming weekend.
Yeah. Uh,
Right.
let's maybe look at what's coming up with the Pro Bowl and then we can also do our thoughts about the Pro Bowl because that's changed dramatically since what you and I grew up to.
I
What's happening now?
I'll be honest. I never even really watched the Pro Bowl growing up.
Really? See,
No,
I did. I
I
did.
never. I was actually more of a draft guy.
Okay.
I went all in on the draft. I could care less about the Pro Bowl. It was
That's
also because I grew up in Detroit and I'm a born and raised Lions fan and
Yeah. They didn't get
former
picked very
season
much.
ticket holder. And you know, your Pro Bowlers like Robert Porcher, defensive end. Shout out Robert Porcher, all
Yeah,
timer. I wish people knew more of him. But, anyways,
that makes
until
sense.
next time.
Thanks for joining in. Happy Ball Sports. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Happy Ball Sports. See what we got cooking up next. All right, until next time again. See ya. Thanks for joining.
Breaking an out-of-season message from Santa Claus. Greenland is involved. His official statement. Ho, ho, ho. I know I'm usually quiet this time of year, but things are getting serious up north. Very serious. I need all the good boys and girls to calm things down. A lot. A ho, ho, ho lot. listen to episode 4 of The Murder of Elfie Millstone. One of my elves did try to warn everyone. Like everything, it's a podcast. Happy New Year. And remember, I'm keeping a list.